Welcome to the 8th and final level of your algebra unit. And I saved best for last. Here we go. So in this video, this is the format of the equations we'll be dealing with. A times bx plus c equals d times ex plus f. Holy moly. Okay, yes, that is super complicated, but don't stress. We will get through this. So, for example, here are a couple types of equations we'll be working with. For example, let's say A has a value of 2, B has a value of 3, C has a value of positive 4, D has a value of 5, E has a value of 6, and maybe F has a value of positive 7. So there's an example of the type of question we'll be working with. And I think I'm going to start off right away with question 1 from the handout. Let's go right into this planet here. Okay. So question 1 is 2 times 3x plus 1 equals 4 times 2x plus 1. So this goes back to working with the distributive property. If you remember from video number 4, how that works is we need to rewrite this equation without the brackets, okay? And to do that, we're going to distribute the number in front of the brackets. So in this case, there's a 2 over here and there's a 4 over here. And to distribute it, we're going to multiply it with each term inside the brackets. Just like that. And remember that terms are separated by plus or minus signs. So 3x is a term, plus 1's a term, 2x is a term, and plus 1's a term over here. Okay, so let's write out what this would become. 2 times 3x becomes 6x. 2 times positive 1 gets us positive 2. Now on the right side, I'm going to multiply 4 times 2x. That would be 8x. And 4 times positive 1 would be positive 4. Now you'd be like, oh, hey, I remember this type of question. It's just like level 6. And that's why we did that one first. So, just to recap of how to solve a problem like this, since we've got x's on both sides of the equation, we need to fix that by getting all the x terms onto one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase those lines first. Okay, so first I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides of the equation. And why I'm doing that is because it's going to make these cancel out, because 8x minus 8x would be 0. So with those gone, all we'll be left with on the right side of the equation is 4. This plus 2 will stay the same. And then now we're going to need to do 6x minus 8x. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. And our x will still be there. So we've got negative 2x plus 2 equals 4. Okay. Next step is we need to get rid of this plus 2 here by doing the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, canceling those out, and we'd be left with negative 2x equals 4 minus 2, and that would be 2. Alright, last step. We need to get rid of this negative 2, so we're going to divide by negative 2 on both sides, canceling that out, and we would get an answer of x equals 2 divided by negative 2, and that is negative 1. So that is a pretty long process involved to get the answer, so definitely a good idea to go back and double check. So got a value of x equals negative 1. So let's go back up to the question here, and I'm going to rewrite it, but in place of x I'm going to write negative 1. So let's take a look at the left side first. 2 times and then 3 times x, which we figured out was -1, plus 1. Sorry, hope that makes sense. So let's solve it in the brackets first. 3 times -1 is -3. And then we have to add 1 to that. -3 plus 1 is -2. And then finally we're going to do 2 times that, which would get us -4. So now we just need to compare that to the right side and see if we get the same solution. So on the right side we have 4 times 2 times x, and our x in this case is -1 again, plus 1. Okay, so let's solve this. Again, we're going to do in the brackets first. So 2 times -1 is -2. Then we're going to add 1 to that. That would become -1. And finally, we would bring that 4 down and do 4 times -1, which would be -4. So yes, we did get the same answer on both sides. We got -4 here, -4 here. So x equals -1 would be the correct answer. Ching. So yeah, it's a pretty involved question, and that's why I saved best for last. Let's definitely take a look at a couple more here. Let's go into this planet. No, it's not big enough. Let's go over here. Okay. Can we see green okay? Yes. So this is going to be question 7 from the handout. And it is 5 times 3x minus 2 equals 10 times 2x minus 6. All right, first step, we are going to distribute just like this and like this. So 5 times 3x would become 15x, and then 5 times minus 2 would become minus 10. Next up, 10 times 2x is 20x, and 10 times minus 6 is minus 60. Notice the importance of if something is being subtracted, it's considered negative. So we went over that in the polynomials unit. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Okay, next up, so we've got x terms on both sides. So I'm going to subtract all of my x's from the right side just like this, and do the same thing to this side. So these 20x minus 20x gets us 0, so those will cancel out. And on the right side, all we'll be left with is negative 60. This minus 10 will still be here. And then we need to do 15x minus 20x. 15 minus 20 is negative 5. So this would become negative 5x. Okay, next step, I'm going to add 10 to both sides to cancel those out. And we'd be left with negative 5x equals negative 60 plus 10, that's negative 50. Almost done. Now I just need to divide negative 5 on both sides to make those cancel out. And we would get an answer of x equals positive 10. Whew. Just for time's sake, I'm not going to bother checking that answer because I do want to go over one more question from the handout for you. Let's go up over here. Okay, let's try question number 12, the very last one. So question number 12 is 4 times 3x plus 1 equals 6 times 3 plus 2x. Okay, so first I'm going to get rid of those brackets. 4 times 3x is 12x. And 4 times positive 1 is positive 4. And then over on the right side, 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times positive 2x is positive 12x. Okay. So I'm going to get, I've got x terms on both sides. I've got a 12x here and a 12x here. So I'm going to get rid of the 12x on the right-hand side here by subtracting 12x. And I'll do the same thing to this side. So that is going to cause this to become 0, so those will cancel out. And we'll just be left with the 18 on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, we'll have the plus 4 here. And then my new x term, I just need to do 12 minus 12, which is 0. So we have 0x. So you might notice a problem here. We know 0 times anything is 0. In fact, anything minus itself is 0, right? 5 times 5 is 0. 100 minus 100 is 0. So 12x minus 12x is also 0. So essentially, that's also canceling out, which means this is nothing. So what we're left with is 4 equals 18. Is that true? Definitely not. So what does this mean? This means that there is no solution to this problem. It is a trick question, and it sometimes happens. So yeah, what no solution means is basically there is no possible x value that would ever make this original equation true. Kind of weird, but just the way it works sometimes. Anyway, that's it for this video. Definitely take your time going through lots of the questions from this handout, because these are definitely the most difficult questions of the unit, and definitely take some practice to get good at. So yeah, good luck, and let me know if you need any extra help.